I have a question that I would like us to try and answer honestly. How many of us can comfortably go without our smartphones for about 1 hour? Okay? How about 3? 5? Let's push it to a day. If we're really being honest, a lot of us wouldn't even last 30 minutes. And if you think about the last wedding or friends get-together you attended, you might have noticed that half your table, including yourself, was probably buried in their smartphones. Ladies and gentlemen, whether we'd like to believe it or not, we're actually addicts to technology. And while the term internet addiction was often considered an exaggeration, today this has become a global health concern, reshaping how we think, work, and interact. My name is Mutuzo Irene Esther, and I'm a psychologist that is passionate about bridging the fields of psychology and technology. Now you may wonder, why this intersection, or how did I end up here? Growing up, I was that child who never really knew what I wanted to be. In fact, I kept changing my career aspirations every 2 years, right till the first week of my bachelor's degree, when I got up one morning and figured that I didn't want to be a lawyer after all. So I then looked for the next best course I could pursue, and there was psychology. At that time, I didn't understand what it was, nor did I see its value. But I remember Googling and being told that psychology is the scientific study of human mind and behavior. And I thought to myself that, well, it might be interesting trying to figure out why people behave the way they do. Or like most of us think, it might be nice to read into people's minds. So out of pure curiosity, I made this major life decision to pursue psychology at the university. And my oh my, did I enjoy it. So much that in the class of 2012, I graduated top of my class, the entire College of Humanities, and I was also among the top 5 at Macquarie University that year. Now, armed with these amazing grades, I had this major grand plan where I would work really hard, climb the corporate ladder, and become an HR manager. I did work in HR for a bit, but somehow, by fate, I'd end up working in heavily tech-led roles, in e-recruitment, then in digital marketing, in digital strategy, and I also had my hands at digital sales. Today, I'm still not an HR manager, but rather a passionate psychology lecturer and researcher at the intersection of psychology and technology. That's my late mother. She always used to say, Irene, academia and research are meant for you. But like every stubborn child, I kept toying with this idea and simply running away from it. But a year after she passed, I got a call from the university to serve in a faculty position. In honor of my late mother, I said yes. And the day I got my appointment letter, I remember having tears in my eyes, looking up the sky, and again, like every stubborn child, telling Mom, well, you're right after all. And you know what? I'm going to do it differently. At that time, in the psychology program, yes, bits of technology that were being integrated, but I felt that something was missing. A lot more could be done. So what did I do? I challenged myself and created a couple of course units that would really delve into how technology influenced work and organizational psychology. Those course units are now integrated into the Bachelor's of Applied Psychology program at the university. But beyond my work in academia, I yearn to do more. I yearn to learn, create, and share new knowledge that would really impact my community. So nudged by my father and my husband, I enrolled in a PhD program with my research focusing on the psychosocial factors that influence technology adoption in Africa. My research journey has also led me to look into the ethical use of AI as well as the influence of technology on human behavior. And my oh my, has it been mind-boggling in an exciting but also very scary way. My journey has led me to appreciate the role that psychology plays in this vast world of technology. For instance, I've come to truly understand that at the heart of technology adoption are not digital systems, but rather people. And it suddenly makes sense why a digital system that works in one context may not in another, because people and cultures are different. People are influenced by their peers, by fears, and by so many factors beyond what we can see. But if we are to drive true digital adoption, we need to see, understand, and prioritize the people. I've also come to learn that psychology is at play in almost all the decisions that surround why we use the apps that we use. For instance, we'll choose to use certain apps over others because we find them easy to use. We join certain social media platforms because our friends are on those platforms. And each time we're scrolling through a digital system and see the color red, automatically our brain is alerted because it's already been hardwired to consume red as danger, stop, or pause. And for the ladies, each time you buy that dress because your favorite Instagram influencer has influenced you, that is psychology at play. Ever wondered why you'll be searching for one topic in one app, then open another app to find that same topic, or perhaps have your newsfeed giving you that same topic? That's not by coincidence. The algorithms in our digital ecosystem have been trained to study and track our behavior, predict what we like, exactly when we like it, and therefore give it to us just at the right time to keep us hooked. But at this beautiful intersection between psychology and technology is also the sobering truth that yes, much as we do influence technology adoption, technology also has the power to influence us. Our emotions, our thoughts, the way we work and interact. This truth has pushed me to take a step back and really think about the dark side of technology and what it could lead to if we do not begin using it responsibly. Did you know that the current global internet addiction rate is over 21%? With 3 in 5 of us not even knowing that we're addicted to the internet. We suffer from a condition called nomophobia, the irrational fear of being without a mobile phone. And when a study was carried out in India, it was found that 72% of people would become highly anxious each time their phone battery dropped to 20%. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? I mean, each time your phone battery icon turns red, your heart begins to race. What if I miss that call? Or what if I can't find my way on Google Maps? In today's day and age, something considered simple like a low phone battery can be a serious cause of anxiety. But beyond anxiety, internet addiction also has the power to rewire our brains negatively, affecting our critical thinking, our decision making, and our memory. In worse cases, it's also been linked to dementia, depression, and suicide. I can't talk about the internet and forget to talk about the mighty artificial intelligence. Oh, what immense benefits AI brings, but the problem lies in when we begin to over-rely on it. It actually has the power to negatively affect our creativity and our memory. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to demonize technology. Far from it. I actually think it's one of the best things that has happened to humanity. But maybe, just maybe, we need to take a step back, reclaim our power, and begin using it more responsibly. At the beginning of this year, I happened to be on maternity leave, and I had a lot of time on my hands. But I noticed a very worrying trend in my life. I would get up in the morning, and the first thing I would reach out for would be my smartphone. And somehow I would find myself scrolling through my phone the entire day, occasionally taking breaks to breastfeed my baby. But at the beginning of this leave, I had a plan where I would steal pockets of time to work on my PhD. But here I was, wasting my entire day. I felt restless, detached from my world, and almost a sense of anxiety each time my phone wasn't near me. Ever been there? Well, if you find yourself scrolling hours on end, losing productive time, unable to think without ChatGPT open, or perhaps your partner threatening to leave because you're always glued to your phone, remember this. Technology use is a learned behavior, and if there is a habit in your behavior that you do not like, you have the power to change it. So what did I do? I started small, taking 1 hour away from my phone when I got up, and 1 hour away before I went to bed. Because I was on maternity leave, I was also able to spend extended days away from my phone. I also discovered these amazing apps called app blockers that have the power to block us from those apps that consume our time. And through that season, I remember feeling more focused, more in touch with my world, and less restless. For some of us, internet addiction is so bad that we can't even think or function. There is therapy, and I urge you to seek help. Today, I am a mother to a little boy, and I'm very intentional in the way I intend to introduce digital devices and the internet to them. Yes, I'm aware that they need digital skills to survive tomorrow, but at the same time, research has shown that excessive screen time and excessive digital use for children is actually harmful. It affects their brain, their speech, their physical and social development. Having realized some of these negative effects, countries like Sweden are cutting back on the amount of time that students are spending with digital devices and are reintroducing traditional methods of teaching with paper. In our hushold, my husband and I are intentional to try and keep the tab away from our son for as long as we possibly can, because we want him to experience the world through people, through nature. As an educator, I refuse to shy away from talking about the dark side of technology, even when I've been deemed a pessimist or unrealistic at times, because I believe that it is the first step to responsible use, and it may help someone in need. To the developers and investors in tech in the room, I urge us to think beyond the engagement metrics, think beyond the profit margins, and think about human cost. We need to think about how the digital systems we build today will affect our children and those closest to us. Because in this world, we are going to need a new type of developer who is not scared to build guardrails on some of these systems. Developers that value ethics, privacy, and humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us have a role to play. Because if we do not use technology responsibly, our very enabler could be the very thing that breaks what makes us human. Our emotions, our relationships, our creativity, and our originality. So I have a question for you. What are you going to do differently? Thank you.